What's going on YouTube? I am back with the final Skyhio video, and that is the edible portion. I don't normally buy edibles, but these came free with all the carts I bought. So why not make a video on it? And this is my first try on to Delta 8 edibles. So see how it goes, see how it is. Check in on the effects. I'm gonna eat it, check in an hour later, tell you how it goes. But I want to do a little story time, I guess. This would be my first little story time to go along with it, because you're just gonna see me eat this Rice Krispie treat. I mean, I'm gonna tell you how good it is, but at the end of the day, it's a fruity pebble Rice Krispie treat. Um, so my first dispensary edible, which is actually one of my first times going into a dispensary with a medical card. So I used to live in Colorado Springs, and this thing is so I used to live in Colorado Springs, and I had gotten in as early into their medical program. I have Lyme disease, and so that got me pretty much qualified immediately to get a medical card. And this was probably like I'd gone to a couple places, but this is probably my third actual trip to a dispensary. So my brother's friend, we're just gonna call him Jeff. It's not his name, but just gonna call him Jeff, had hit me up because he needed some weed. I just got my medical card, He was saying what's up. He had basically all his buddies bought from this place called Strawberry Fields. Totally other side of town in Old Town, Colorado Springs. But he had a car. And so I didn't have a car, so he was total transportation right to the dispensary for me. So we go on down there. And I'm actually, let me take a bite of this real quick. Hmm. Oh yeah, don't really taste anything funky. I'm gonna show him. It looks like the red, white, and blue, almost like they got like, I don't know. There's different colors in there. What am I thinking? There's green, and it's proper fruity pebble. Hmm. So anyway, so this would be the new sort of kindling friendship between Jeff and I. Going basically to dispensary weekly, picking up our, you know, weekly weed and whatnots. But so I go in. It's my first experience, like in a probably like it's a reputable shop. I went to some kind of just local walkable like I went to some local spots that just weren't that reputable. And so I go in, med card, get all signed up. Doesn't take that long. Just got to sign a few things. I got to take a copy of your ID and all that. Uh, but basically, I go in and it's just like a wall of weed. It's a bunch of different strains. It's a ton of different strains. Like it was Baskin Robbins level. Well, yeah, probably in the range of 30 strains, I would say. All in the like just open just these plastic jars. They're not pre-packaged or anything. They're not forced into like pre-proportions. They're all just in these loose little jars with tongs that they would just put into a Ziploc bag for you. And so what I ended up doing, he just wanted like an eighth and some edible, and then I was gonna basically match and buy it. So I got him some Granddaddy Purple, right? I think something like that. I think it was Granddaddy Purple, or yeah, no, it was Granddaddy Purple. Um, it was Granddaddy Purple, and then I got myself some Voodoo Star, which was like their in-house strain that when I had gone in, like three other people had already come in and bought some and come out. It's probably one of the most popular strains. So I figured why not get, this premier strain that I just watched a bunch of people buy ounces worth with. Uh, so I got an eighth of that, and then I got two hybrid Chiba Chews, one for me, one for him. Uh, and that was like $10 a piece. But they were like in the tin foil, Tootsie Roll. And back then they say 50 milligram, but I feel like they were more than 50 milligram, at least to me. I know there's, tolerances and all that and blah, blah, blah. But there was something to those Chiba Chews. They did not feel like modern day usual, what I now experience as 50 milligram edibles, even on a tolerance break, even on a serious tolerance break, coming back, eating a 50-gram like edible now does not affect me nearly the way it did with that 50-gram Chiba Chew. It was great. Basically, I go out, we get our stuff. I hand him, I show him the Chiba Chew. He's like, okay. We see it. Technically, the serving size is supposed to be like you cut into little slices with a butter knife, but it's literally the size of like two Tootsie Rolls smushed together. So it's like kind of ridiculous. So we both just pop the whole thing in each of our mouths. It's tasty Tootsie Roll. You get a little bit of the weed flavor, but yeah. But it was pretty much just Tootsie Roll, which chocolate does help cover up the weed taste a lot. Weed taste does go well with chocolate. So, okay, so we slam that down, and I had brought my laptop. Now we go to his spot, and we're just gonna chill out. And we pop open Team Fortress 2, and we're basically playing online for like hours. And it that's when it kicked in. I was playing like Pyro like crazy. We were back and forth. I would play medic and he would do the heavy, and oh man, it was just like it kicking in midway through. I was so just blitzed, just zoned in. My computer was like on fire at the time. My laptop that I had was just powerful enough to play Team Fortress 2 at the time, which says something about how crappy that laptop was. But we were playing for a while, and then this lady walks in, which known to us to me would be my future boss at one point. But basically, she walks in, sober as can be, and now I'm all of a sudden like, whoa, I'm like stoned as fuck, basically. And she just wandering in. Technically, apparently, it was her property, and he was just, renting there at a discounted rate because he worked for her. But I didn't realize this at the time. I just tried to stay as sober as possible. But lo and behold, did I realize how little she really cared or anything. Was basically just high playing Team Fortress 2. He got a puppy Ziggy that ended up just smashing on my nuts all the time. That really killed me playing Team Fortress 2 because he would try and get attention and affection, and he was very hyper as a puppy, but for whatever reason, he just had a thing for like slamming down right on my crotch all the time while I was playing. It was ridiculous. Kind of helped me with my eye because I was just like so fucking big. So it kind of helped snap me back into out of being fucking zooted, out of just like out of my mind. But at the same time, like, oh God, getting hit in the nuts is never fun. But that was that we pretty much just played Team Fortress 2 for I think it was like 4 or 5 hours straight. My computer practically melted. And pretty much ended up being high that entire day. That was probably I got there around 2 o'clock. I left around 8. I was still high. I got home. I was starting to sober up. I was probably down to like a 4 or 3 by the time I got home. But it was like a full probably like 8 hours before it really went down. It was a nice high, but it's been a long time since I've had those Chiba Chews. Hey, comment below if you had those Chiba Chews, those back in the day, those med Chiba Chews in Colorado. Those were freaking delicious. I don't know if they're probably still around in some other package form or something. I don't know. I haven't been there in a while, so I haven't even finished this all. I haven't even finished this all. Oh. It doesn't taste really good. It's really good. I mean, it's a Fruity Pebble crispy treat. I'm not gonna go wrong. I mean, I know it's not hard to make. It's just like marshmallow and stuff, but Rice Krispies are definitely my preferred form of edible. I like brownies and cookies. And, yeah, if I'm gonna buy an edible, I've tried lollipops. I've tried hard candies don't work on me for some reason. I've tried hard candies. They just don't work on me. I've never tried a hard candy that's ever worked on me. Like, I've tried a bunch of brands. No hard candies really ever worked on me for some reason. Thing is, that was delicious. So I'm gonna come back in an hour. See how that feels. Give you a little breakdown, and we're gonna end up calling it a day. All right, I'll be back. All right, it has been about an hour, um, and the effects for me are pretty mild. I mean, it was only 50 milligrams with Delta 8, but it's pretty nice. It's just kind of like a middling high. It's I feel like maybe it's like placebo or something, but maybe I feel like a little bit more of a body high than what, just straight Delta 8 normally would be on, just vaping it. But I don't know, it's a pretty just kind of like even keeled, you know, head high that just kind of like an even little balance. It's nothing, I'm not like blitzed or anything. That's probably gonna take a few hundred more milligrams of this stuff, apparently, at this point. I feel like 50 milligrams used to get me way more baked from an edible than any 50 milligram, 100 milligram, 200 milligram edible nowadays. But no, it's a pretty solid edible high. It's all right, for not having had an edible in a long while. But in any case, if you do enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, ring that bell. You have a great rest of your day.